Octopuses have 3 hearts, and when they swim, 2 of those hearts stop beating entirely, which is why they almost always crawl instead. Swimming is so metabolically costly, it nearly shuts them down. And that is barely the beginning of what makes these creatures impossible. Their blood is blue. Not metaphorically, literally blue, running on copper instead of iron. Each of their 8 arms contains a nervous system so sophisticated the arm can keep solving problems even after it's been severed from the body. But there is one more thing. One ability octopuses have that no other complex animal on this planet possesses, discovered only in the last decade. So alien in its implications that some researchers believe it shouldn't be possible under the evolutionary rules we thought we understood. I'll reveal exactly what that is before this video ends. If you've ever suspected that reality is far stranger than you've been told, stay until the final minute. This video was built for you. 3 hearts, blue blood, alien biology. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to understand why some scientists call the octopus the most alien life form ever discovered, living right here in our ocean. 3 hearts, blue blood. Let's start with what the title already told you. But what it didn't tell you is how deeply strange these facts are when you actually dig into the biology. An octopus has 3 hearts. 2 branchial hearts pump blood to the gills. 1 systemic heart pumps oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. When an octopus swims, using jet propulsion by forcing water through its mantle, the systemic heart stops completely. This is why octopuses fundamentally prefer to crawl. They can swim, but it's so metabolically exhausting it leaves them dangerously vulnerable. Now the blood. Blue blood copper-powered. Human blood uses hemoglobin, an iron-based protein that turns red when it binds oxygen. Octopus blood uses hemocyanin, a copper-based protein. Hemocyanin is actually more efficient at transporting oxygen in cold, low-oxygen environments like the deep ocean. It's completely transparent when deoxygenated, and brilliant, vivid blue when oxygenated. Aristotle wrote about octopuses in his Historia Animalium around 350 BC. He called them simple-minded creatures. The octopus is a stupid creature, for it will approach a man's hand if it is lowered into the water. He thought the approaching was stupidity. We now know it was curiosity, the signature of a mind that's paying attention. 3 hearts, blue blood, and we haven't even gotten to the nervous system yet. Because what octopuses do with their neurons is where this story gets genuinely unsettling. Arms that think alone. Now, what I'm about to tell you sounds like science fiction, but it's one of the most documented facts in all of neuroscience. An octopus has approximately 500 million neurons. That's comparable to a dog. But here's the part that breaks your brain. 2/3 of those neurons are not in the central brain at all. They're distributed throughout the 8 arms. Each arm has its own local nervous system, its own mini-brain, capable of independent decision-making without consulting the central brain. Scientists have tested this directly. They severed an octopus arm in a laboratory setting. The arm kept moving. It kept reaching. It kept responding to stimuli for up to an hour after separation from the body. The arm didn't need the brain because it already had one. This means an octopus doesn't control its arms the way you control your fingers. It's more like a commander issuing general intentions to 8 semi-autonomous soldiers who then figure out the execution themselves. If this is already rewiring how you think about intelligence, hit like and subscribe, because what comes next is even more impossible. I promise, you are not ready for what these arms can actually do. 8 arms, 8 minds, 1 body. And the next fact, this is the one that kept me up at night. Taste with your skin. Stop and think about this for a second. To understand what something tastes like, you put it in your mouth. Your taste receptors are on your tongue. That is biology as you've always known it. Octopuses have chemoreceptors, taste and smell combined into a single sense. On every single sucker, each arm carries approximately 250 suckers. With 8 arms, that's roughly 2,000 individual taste sensors distributed across the entire body. They taste everything they touch the instant they touch it. Think about what this means practically. When an octopus reaches into a dark crevice in a coral reef, which it does constantly while hunting, it can't see what's inside, but it can taste inside. It knows exactly what's hiding before it fully commits. It's like having a high-resolution chemical analysis system built into every single fingertip. Touch is taste, is smell combined. The suckers don't just taste either. They grip with proportional suction force that ranks among the strongest in the animal kingdom. Researchers have measured individual suckers maintaining grip equivalent to several times their own weight. The sea, once it casts its spell, holds one in its net of wonder forever. But here's the paradox that should be impossible. An octopus sees color with stunning precision, despite the fact that it is completely, unambiguously colorblind. Let that sit for a moment. Colorblind camouflage. Here's where the story takes a genuinely bizarre turn. Octopuses are masters of camouflage. They can match the color, texture, and pattern of virtually any surface in under 1 second. 1 second. Rocks, sand, coral, algae, they don't approximate it, they become it. They have skin cells called chromatophores that expand and contract to control color, and papillae that physically raise and lower to create three-dimensional texture matches. The resolution is extraordinary, but here's the contradiction. Octopuses are colorblind. They have a single type of photoreceptor in their eyes. Humans have 3. A single photoreceptor type means the animal essentially sees in one spectrum, like a black and white photograph of the world. So how does a colorblind animal match color with such terrifying precision? Scientists now believe the W-shaped and U-shaped pupils of octopuses allow them to exploit chromatic aberration. The fact that light of different wavelengths focuses at slightly different depths, to extract color information from a single receptor type by rapidly adjusting focal length, using the physics of light itself to cheat the limits of biology. One photoreceptor, infinite colors, somehow. It is a solution to a problem that should have no solution. And this approach, finding impossible shortcuts, describes everything about how octopuses think. Because when you see what they do with tools and memory, that's where it gets truly insane. Tool use and memory. But here's what nobody tells you about octopus intelligence. We tend to measure intelligence by how much it resembles ours. Tool use, planning, long-term memory, problem-solving. Octopuses check every single box, and they do it with a brain that evolved entirely separately from vertebrate intelligence. 2 completely different evolutionary paths arrived at the same destination, a thinking mind. In Indonesia and Australia, researchers documented octopuses collecting coconut shell halves from the ocean floor, carrying them while moving, stacking them as they traveled, and assembling them into sheltered dens at a completely different location. This is not reflexive behavior. This is planning for a future need, using a remembered object. That is the textbook definition of tool use. In laboratory settings, octopuses navigate complex mazes with no errors after a single trial. They recognize individual human faces, not faces generally, specific faces, and behave differently toward people who treated them well versus those who mistreated them. They hold grudges. One octopus at an aquarium in New Zealand repeatedly targeted one specific staff member with water jets. Only that person, every time. Tool use, face, memory, grudges. Octopuses have individual personalities. No 2 are alike. And the next revelation makes all of this look like a footnote. Octopus personalities. Now forget everything you thought complex consciousness required. We assume personality. Stable individual character, curiosity, play, preference, needs time, a long lifespan, social structures, knowledge passed between generations. Octopuses have none of this. They live alone. They don't teach their young. Most species live only 1 to 2 years. And yet, personality. Researchers at the Seattle Aquarium ran controlled behavioral studies and documented consistent personality differences across individual octopuses. Some were bold, exploring immediately upon introduction to new environments. Some were shy, retreating from any stimulus. Some were aggressive, some passive, some relentlessly curious. These differences remained stable across repeated testing sessions. The same individual was reliably itself, test after test after test. They play. Octopuses have been filmed repeatedly releasing a floating pill bottle into a tank current and catching it, over and over again, with no food reward involved whatsoever. That is play behavior. Play for the sheer joy of it. Play without reward, pure curiosity. One octopus at a German aquarium, named Ardo, repeatedly threw rocks at the glass of his tank, and short-circuited the aquarium's lighting system by shooting water jets at the overhead lights. The staff eventually had to move him. Otto wasn't malfunctioning. Otto was bored. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. But here's what makes all of this genuinely tragic. The price these creatures pay for their intelligence. The lifespan tragedy. Let me pause here, because this part changes the entire picture. Everything I've told you, the distributed intelligence, the tool use, the personalities, the problem solving, all of it is compressed into a lifespan of 1 to 2 years. Maybe 3 for the giant Pacific octopus. That is all they get. They build all of that complexity, and then almost immediately disappear. Here's the brutal part. Octopus mothers guard their eggs, anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 eggs, for 4 to 6 months. During this entire period, they do not eat, not once. They slowly starve to death while keeping the eggs clean, oxygenated, and protected from every predator. When the eggs finally hatch, the mother is usually dead within days. She starved herself to death to launch the next generation, knowing nothing of who they would become, never meeting them. The father dies shortly after mating. He never sees the eggs. Scientists believe this brutal lifespan reflects evolutionary pressure from predation. It is better for the species to reproduce fast and die than to survive longer, but the cost is staggering. Intelligence trapped in disposable bodies. Philosopher and biologist Peter Godfrey Smith captured it precisely. Octopuses are an island of mental complexity in the sea of invertebrate life, an island with a tragically short coastline. But what they do with their own genetic code, from the inside, is where this story finally shatters everything. The central dogma breaks. What I'm about to tell you sounds impossible, but it was published in Cell, one of the most prestigious scientific journals on Earth, documented, peer-reviewed, and confirmed across multiple independent studies. Every complex organism on Earth uses the same fundamental biological information system. DNA stores the code of life. When proteins need to be built, the cell reads a section of DNA and creates a messenger molecule called RNA, which carries those instructions to the cellular machinery that actually builds the protein. DNA to RNA to protein. This is called the central dogma of molecular biology. It is considered so foundational, so universal, that the word dogma is used deliberately. Mutations happen in DNA. That is evolution, and it is slow, unfolding across thousands of generations. But the RNA copy is supposed to be a faithful transcript, a perfect photocopy of the original instructions. No edits. 1. DNA holds the original code. 2. RNA copies the instructions exactly. 3. Proteins are built from RNA instructions. 4. Mutations only happen in DNA across generations. Except octopuses don't follow this system. In 2017, researchers from the Marine Biological Laboratory published findings showing that octopuses, squid, and cuttlefish edit their RNA in real time. After the DNA is read, after the copy is made, they rewrite the messenger itself, after the copy has already been sent. And what this means for everything I promised in the opening. Buckle up. The RNA revelation. This is the fact that made scientists question everything they thought they understood about evolution. In warm water, octopuses edit their RNA minimally. In cold water, where the nervous system would normally slow down, where chemical reactions change rates, where most animals simply function less effectively, octopuses dramatically ramp up their RNA editing to compensate in real time. They rewrite their own neural code on the fly to adapt to their environment. Think about what that actually means. You cannot change how your proteins behave by wanting it. Evolution changes protein behavior over thousands of generations. Octopuses do it situationally, within hours, within a single lifetime. In cold-adapted octopus populations, researchers found that over 60% of proteins in the nervous system were edited from the original DNA template, more than half of what the brain actually does, completely rewritten from the genetic original, in real time, by the animal itself. Edit your own neural chemistry. This is the ability that breaks the theory. Evolution works through DNA mutation. Slow, generational, external. Octopuses found a shortcut. change the expression of DNA situationally within a single lifetime in direct response to the environment. This is what I promised in the opening. The ability so unprecedented that it genuinely makes some researchers debate whether octopus-level RNA editing could have emerged through standard evolutionary pressures, or whether it represents something biology has never produced before. Which fact shattered your understanding the hardest? Comment the number, 1 through 10. I'll pin the most common answer, and share this with as many people as you can. This kind of truth deserves to travel as far as possible. Don't keep it to yourself. Aliens among us. So let's bring this full circle and answer the question that has been hovering over everything since the intro. Are octopuses literally aliens? No. They evolved here on Earth over hundreds of millions of years. Cephalopod ancestors appear in the fossil record over 500 million years ago, predating dinosaurs by hundreds of millions of years. But here is what is true. Octopus intelligence evolved completely independently from vertebrate intelligence. The last common ancestor between an octopus and a human was probably a primitive flatworm-like creature with no recognizable brain structure. Everything that followed, our neurons, their neurons, evolved on entirely separate tracks across 500 million years of divergent evolution. That means intelligence isn't a singular path that leads only to us. It is a pattern that emerges whenever conditions push evolution hard enough in that direction. Evolution found intelligence twice, independently. The RNA editing, the distributed cognition, the personality, the play. These emerged through an architecturally alien branch of the evolutionary tree, not alien as in extraterrestrial. Alien as in fundamentally, structurally different from anything we had ever imagined possible. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. Every time you look at an octopus, in an aquarium, in a documentary, in the wild, you are looking at what intelligence looks like when it takes a completely different road. A road so different that its destination still surprises us. The ocean is not empty. It is full of minds we haven't learned to recognize yet. So here is what you actually just learned, and why it matters far beyond the facts themselves. 3 hearts, 2 of which stop when it swims. Blue copper-based blood optimized for cold, oxygen-poor water. 8 arms, each running its own distributed nervous system, each capable of independent thought and action. Roughly 2,000 chemoreceptors that taste everything they touch the instant they touch it. Colorblind, yet matching color with precision that defies their own biology. Tool use, grudge holding, play for the pure joy of it, and stable individual personalities. All of it compressed into a lifespan of 1 to 2 years. 3 hearts, 8 minds, 1 ocean. And then, the ability to edit their own RNA in real time. To rewrite the expression of their genetic code while they live, adapting their nervous system to conditions that would cripple every other animal we know. The octopus didn't need a long lifespan, social structures, or written language to become one of the most remarkable organisms ever documented. It needed the ocean, evolutionary pressure, and 500 million years. And it built something we still don't fully understand. We are not the only path to intelligence. We are simply the loudest one. What the octopus teaches us, quietly from the seafloor, is that consciousness, curiosity, and the drive to adapt are not human inventions. They are patterns that emerge wherever life finds enough reason to build them. The ocean is full of minds we haven't learned to recognize yet. If you made it this far, comment 3 hearts to prove you're the kind of person who actually pays attention. The world needs more of you. The truth is stranger than anything you could make up. If your brain is as blown as mine right now, hit subscribe, because next time it gets even crazier.